This will be the largest group of assembled fans in the Western Hemisphere. That's why they need a big house. Welcome to Ann Arbor, home of the Michigan Wolverines. This matchup today, part of the lifeblood of the sport. A rivalry game where the results will be remembered. Time. The Spartans will put total leather to crank us up. He'll call for the fair catch here. So Michigan's offense will take the first swing of the game. A state divided. They started playing for the Paul Bunyan Trophy, the big wooden lumberjack, back in the early 50s when Sparty joined the Big Ten.
And it's so nice to have you, Reese, to have all those data from when you were in high school and when you were in college back in the 50s. And you know the records so well of these games, but it matters. And their comments fly week to week for these guys. Michigan, Michigan State. Intense, and the hatred runs deep.
Can you just imagine Reese riding to school in his Ford Model T back in the day? How nice that would have been, just putting along, getting to school, making sure all his homework's done, just looking like the man on campus. I'll tell you, there's a lot of familiarity in this game. A lot of these high school players grew up playing with or against each other, so it just adds an extra layer to this rivalry.
He stopped just a chain link or two away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here. After trying the running game, let's see if they do it again on second down. Here comes the option. Tackled, but he has a first down.
I love when players understand situations and they understand where the first down marker is and they understand where I got to get to. A lot of people you'll see run north-south and try to bounce out wide and make big plays. Sometimes it's not about making big plays. Sometimes it's about getting that first down to make sure I get an extra set of downs instead of trying to make those big touchdown runs.
The Wolverines often look at this rivalry as their birthright to win, and boy, did they put the hammer down in a blowout last year.
Yeah, and you heard a lot of hail to the victors, and you heard a lot about little brother and a lot of shots throughout this last year about how Michigan is the program in the state. They are the brand, and Michigan State has heard that, Palmer, a ton.
And that's just been a narrative that we've heard throughout the years, too. And it's something that people love talking about in Ann Arbor is that they are the dominant team. And it's not even close in this in-state rival. Michigan State's got to do something to flip the script. If they want their program to reach the consistency that Michigan has, they've got to recruit better. And a big way in doing that is winning this game.
On third and short, just trying to get enough for the first down. And a really nice run and pick up there before the defense avoided disaster and stopped the really big play.
And this guy's going to have to come through for you in this game. He picks up another first down, but he's your Heisman contender. He's the best player on your football team, and he's a guy that's just going to have to touch the ball a lot in this game if you're going to win.
They'll give it to him again. Finds a crease at the 20. Gets out of bounds after the big game, but they've got it first and goal.
How about the defense trying to slow this dude down. He's a Heisman contender for a reason. He's so difficult to tackle, and what a challenge. All week long, they knew that they had to key on this guy and really try to at least limit him if they were going to win.
Wide out in motion. Quick pass on the jet motion. Really nice stop there from this senior leader. Picked up some of what they needed on first down. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 5. They'll run the option. He'll toss it. He works his way ever closer all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Well, you know if you're this offense, you're dialing up this running back, man. He has been a scoring machine all season long. He just finds his way into the end zone, and this is a golden opportunity to put 6 up on the board with that guy in your backfield.
Go straight ahead. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
And that play shows you really what this defense is about. It's a difficult one to attack. They're really good. One of the best in the country. They come at you from all angles. So I'm interested to watch. How do you mix up the play calling? How do you keep the defense off balance? Because they are a good one.
This offense wants to get out of the gate fast on their first drive of the game, plus territory. They'll go for it on 4th down. They'll run the option. Oh, and after the big gain, the ball's loose. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 10. Into the end zone unimpeded, except for that piece of laundry on the field. This might be coming back. This defense happy with how that last play turned out, so they'll decline the penalty. They'll try to add another to their lead. And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. Here he comes from inside his own 5. And the returner will be knocked down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. Now on the option. Now the pitch. Open space at the 25. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. Looking for a productive play on first down. Wants to go up top. He makes the connection. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
I love the QB here. He holds it, he holds it, he holds it just long enough to let the receiver run the drag route, and then he puts it out in front of him so he can catch it on the run in stride and then turn upfield to use his speed.
Got some of the work done on first. Now let's see what they have on 2nd down. On the run, it's Stewart. Finds a little bit of space, gets 3 to the 22. Paul Bunyan, a huge part of trophies in the Big Ten. He's got an axe. He's got this trophy for the Spartans and the Wolverines. Where do you guys rank this trophy?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there's so many trophy games, I feel like, in the Big Ten, David. This game, obviously, it always has Big Ten implications, national championship implications. I will be honest, Paul Bunyan trophy gives me the heebie-jeebies a bit, though.
You don't like it, it just kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies. I hear you, but how about Reese throwing a ranking on us? Rank the trophies? Reese, what are we doing here? We're not ranking trophies. Huge rivalry game, a lot of emotions. I'm not talking about ranking trophies.
And the Wolverines will line it up on 1st and 10. Pulls it and fires to the left. They make the stop right there. Good pickup. It's still short of the first down. deep in the season, that crisp air all around you, and this feels like a must-win game, guys.
This is a game that will impact the college football playoff. It'll have conference championship implications, and it'll have bowl game implications as well. David, so much riding on the line in this one.
And you can feel it, man. You can feel the energy. The players this week, they were on high. Like, you could tell they were ready for the challenge. This is going to be an absolute showdown.
Making great decisions, that's what all of the legendary Michigan quarterbacks have done. John Navarre, Elvis Gerbach, and the guy, can't remember, drafted in the 6th round by the Patriots.
Yeah, that guy, what was his name? Tom Brady? Yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah, he was pretty good too. But when you think about Michigan, you don't always think about the quarterbacks, and you don't always think about airing it out. But again, if you want to be a great college football team nowadays, you better be able to throw that pigskin.
They're about to run a dirty half-dozen plays on this drive. Got it set up on the outside. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
Well, a nice gainer on that running back screen. Now, how about the offensive line getting downfield and getting blocks to really help out the back, find some space to go to work?
He's got first down yardage as they move it to the 44.
Well, this offense is sending a little bit of a message here. Of course, we know how much they've struggled on third down all season long. They're just never able to seem to get into a rhythm. But after that last running play, moving the sticks, you just wonder what that does for their confidence.
He'll ride his man on the option. Guys, these two have been showing contempt and disdain for each other for more than a century. First meeting back in 1898.
Yeah, and my goodness, you think about all the years, all the plays. You think about Mike Hart a few years ago. What was he talking about? Little brother. That stung Michigan State so bad. The hatred for each other is what makes this game so fun to follow every single year.
And I always feel in this game specifically between Michigan and Michigan State, it's the big-time players and the Heisman candidates that have always stepped up and made big plays. So I can't wait to see what the best players in this game are ready to do.
Are you kidding me? Really? Are you kidding me?
They're down to the 20, 1st and 10. From the red zone, looking for a receiver. Headed to the end zone, and he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Michigan!
Yeah, he doesn't need anything to be open. He just makes it happen himself. Hey, I'm going to call a pass. I want to throw the ball down the field. Oh, it's not open? Okay, I'm just going to pull it down, make it happen, take it to the house. What a scramble by the quarterback.
All tied up and just about set to kick it away. On the run from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So Michigan State's offense will take the field for the first time. And if these two guys wind up getting matched up, David, we'll see what wins, speed or force.
Yeah, and you love to be physical and set the tone, and this linebacker does that consistently. Now, Jesse, keeping up with the speed on the other side, that's a different animal.
It might be different, but we're going to see this receiver work underneath on some drag routes. You better be careful. You do not want to get caught in the wash against this linebacker.
It's pretty clear he didn't care about the double coverage. He thought his guy was better than their 2 guys.
Well, and there's reason to think that. That dude's a stud, and I understand it. I want to find ways to get him the football, but when it's 2-on-1, I might think about looking somewhere else.
Looking to pass on 2nd down. Got his man downfield. And they'll get enough for the first down, and that's how things will come to a close here in the first quarter. Absolutely nothing settled. Deadlocked after one period of play as we have a look at the stats. First down to start the drive after the break. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up.
Really good job by the defense seeing it and going and getting it. Nice job understanding the touch pass. It could happen. Those guys go in motion, man. I got to understand. Safety's got to see that, start flying down, getting ready to play that. Nice job by the defense being ready for that play.
This offense has a second down play. They're going to throw it again. Makes the grab. Tackle is made, but not until he gets the first down. And the Spartans will hustle to the line. This guy fits that Spartan quarterback mold, a guy who makes plays, a Jeff Smoker, a Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, a guy that you can depend on. You got to find that guy that can complement who you are and what you are, and so you can get a lot of the fans going, go green, go white. Find the complement at quarterback to this offense.
You know what I really like about games like this at this point in the season? You find out who you are. You find out whether you're going to stay in the race.
And who can step up and handle the challenge, right? This is easily one of the toughest games to date for both of these programs coming into this one. So there's a lot of eyeballs, David, on this game to find out who's mentally and emotionally the toughest.
Yeah, and we're going to point to this game as we get later in the year and big decisions are made. You've got a top 25 win. You beat them in the middle of the season, X, Y, and Z, so these are big for the resume.
Now well within striking distance as that third down play gets them a first at the 29. The Spartans come to the line with a fresh set of downs. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. Able to pick up a couple down to the 27.
And those physical runs take a toll. It might not be a big gain now, but down the road, third, fourth quarter, late in the ball games, they tend to turn into bigger runs.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Wide receiver coming across in motion. On second down, wants to throw. Zings it complete to the right. Stopped after making the catch. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Here they come up to the 23-yard line, not thinking field goal, wanting to convert this third and short. From the gun, wants to pass. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31. It has been said that the other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard, and he did.
And often is good, too. The most you can get to him, but great job by the defense, rushing the quarterback, understanding pass, and getting the big fella on the ground.
How great is it to know that if you can get the ball down somewhere close to the 40-yard line on your opponent's side of the field, you're walking away with at least 3 points because this dude is automatic.
So after the last drive ended with a field goal, the kickoff team out there to send it away. From inside the 15, chance for a good return. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. That last touchdown drive was surgical through the air, Jesse.
It sure was, and that's why this offense is so dangerous, David, because they can score in a hurry because of how efficient they are throwing the football.
And welcome to modern college football. That's what it is. Spread you out, find my playmakers, make quick decisions, and really put defenses in a difficult situation.
Quick completion to the right.
And I love the idea of getting this guy screen throws because of his ability after the catch. So nice job getting downfield, getting a hat-on-hat, and giving him a tunnel to run through.
The option look. And you want to talk about gang tackling. Everybody on the defense run to the ball.
They're strong, and they're strong. Defensive tackles, they're strong. There's such big jokers in the middle where they just lock out those offensive linemen. And running backs, listen, they don't have much of a chance. When you got that 300-plus pound guy grabbing you around the shoulder pad, you tend to go to the ground pretty quickly.
Third and short now. They snap it from their own 46. Handoff from the shotgun. That'll be enough for the first down, and they'll mark it at the 48.
Well, I know this is an offensive line that has a ton of pride. They want to come out each and every game and really impose their will on the D-line. They got just enough push there on that run play to pick up the first.
The Wolverines are moving quickly down the field. Wide receiver now comes in motion. Quick pass on the fly motion. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33.
This offense has a lot of different ways they can attack you, and you're going to see the entire playbook at work in this game. Throwing it, running it, and getting guys the ball out on the perimeter. Great job.
You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play.
I like this guy as a running back because he can run between the tackles and he can also go outside. He can really do it all.
On the option. Quick toss. He's out of bounds, but not before picking up enough for the first down. See that maze in blue, and you expect tough-minded, hard-nosed running attacks.
I expect big, physical, huge linemen that don't like people, that are going to move them out of the way and do just this, what we did right here. Move the sticks, get first downs on the ground. That's who Michigan is.
Well, he does a really nice job buying time, and I love the awareness there. Understanding no one's open downfield, knowing where the sticks are, and he's able to use his athleticism to get that first down.
They'll run it on first and goal. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
How about the defender being a heat-seeking missile? He was on radar lock. He found the football and flew down with some bad intentions.
He's looking for an open man on second down. Safe completion on the screen. And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines. And with the extra point, they're up 14-10. So that was a 10-play, 75-yard drive. And they finish it off by connecting from 10 yards out. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he... Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. Jesse, they had to kick a field goal the last time they had it.
Yeah, and oftentimes early in games, you're just trying to find your rhythm. Some things work, some don't on that first drive, David. It'd be interesting to see what happens here in the second drive.
Yeah, you got a feel for the defense now. You understand what they're trying to do, what their game plan is. Now you get to go into phase 2 of your game plan.
Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. They'll run it from the gun. Danced his way through traffic. Pick up a 4 to the 19. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. The clock has reached the 2-minute mark, and they have a chance to at least cut into this lead before the break. Third down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. Getting some heat. And that defense gets to him, and down he goes at the 9. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. And the Spartans send out the punt unit. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. His first one of the day gave that leg a workout 5 times in last week's victory. This guy is a daring punt return man. He's not going to settle for the fair catch. A solid return gets a little bit of ground for the offense. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. On that last drive, defense had no idea what was happening, run or pass, and it wound up in the end zone, Jesse.
Yeah, you saw the experience in this offense that last drive, too, on that touchdown. Everybody on the same page. These guys have repped these plays over and over in practice and in games, and it's working, Dave.
Yeah, so I got to find a way to disrupt it. I got to find a way to maybe be more aggressive, maybe blitz, mess up this rhythm they got going.
Got his man on the right. They were able to get him stopped just shy of the first down marker.
And a really nice job by the wide receiver. You run a drag route, find space. They're in zone coverage. They're not covering man-to-man. Find a little hole. Look at that QB. Y'all get on the same page. You could tell they were, and that's why they got the first down.
They thought they could just run it on 3rd and short, but this defense was there to make the stop. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. The offense failed to convert on 4th down earlier, but that didn't change their thinking here. They'll try to pick up the first. He's not going to get there. Stop short on 4th down.
And how about the defense coming up big on 4th and short? You know they're going to run the football. Great job stacking the box, getting the big stop.
They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer.
Yeah, and how about this defense, man? That's the 3rd sack of the day. They've been putting pressure, getting him on the ground. Not something they've been good at throughout this season. This defense playing better because they're getting more pressure on the quarterback.
On 2nd down, he'll let it fly. And he just threw that one away. Safe move, didn't see anything, lived to play another play. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop.
It's unfortunate for this offense, guys. Had they not had the mental errors and mistakes early in the drive, they'd be sitting pretty right now. Even after that long gain on the running play, they've still got 4th down.
And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. They've got it back after that last drive stalled out, and they were stopped on 4th down, David.
Yeah, and they put a little bit of a drive together, but, Jesse, they stalled on the other side of the field, and they got to find a way to keep that momentum going as they get closer to the end zone.
I agree. I do like their mindset, though, and I think they need to continue being aggressive moving forward in this game.
And last week was great for this young man, but, man, again, showing you he can do it at a high level. Just working the whole field, using different guys. He is absolutely on fire right now.
They'll run the screen. Brings him down at the 48. It's a gain of 15 and a first down. And the Wolverines in the hurry-up. Wants to throw on 1st down. Quarterback now on the run, still looking. Sails one into the middle. And they won't make the connection going for the big play.
Well, I love the effort by the quarterback here. He extends the play. Nothing open right away. There's a little bit of pressure. He gets to the outside, tries to take a shot down the field, just not on the same page with his intended target.
He's looking for a man on 2nd down. Going back to the well, another deep ball.
Zone coverage that time, and the cornerback, a nice job with his eyes. He's watching the quarterback. He sees the ball thrown, so he knows exactly when to break on it. He's able to break it up for an incompletion.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. It is incomplete, and now there are 4 seconds remaining. The Wolverines will try to pin them back with the punt. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. Perhaps feeling that coverage coming, signals for the fair catch and makes it at the 25. That's the end of the 2nd quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Fellas, it's one thing to have a rivalry game. But when you have two longtime foes separated by 65 miles battling for a prize like the Paul Bunyan Trophy, you know emotions tend to run high. And it's been said football is a game of inches. And guess what? Based on the comparison between third down conversion rate today and the average yard per play, how can you argue that? I mean, the low-lying fruit is to look at some of the explosive plays we've seen and panic. But really, this game is going to come down to which team is more efficient when they have the ball and how they play when it matters most.
And the Wolverines will kick it away first, and we'll start the second half. And he takes this from inside the 5. And the returner will be brought down. The Spartans have it back on offense, hoping to play some good ball. If they're going to get on top in this game, they're going to have to find a way to get the running game going in the second half.
Agree, so it can create some more balance, some more unpredictability. I feel like this defense has got a good beat on what they're doing, especially if they don't mix it up a little bit. So I do look for a little second half running the football, Palmer, out of this group.
And I think the thing, Dave, is they just got to be more physical. I don't think this is a scheme question about trying different run plays. I think it's up to the big fellas up front. They've just got to make the decision that they're going to be tougher here in the second half so that they can win this game.
Takes the easy throw in the flat. They make the stop after the catch, and still some work to do to pick up that first down.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football, and a great job sneaking out of the backfield, getting them the football, letting them get some positive yards.
Goes to the option. He just needed a yard on third down, and there just wasn't any room to pick it up. The Spartans line up to punt it away. Slips through the line. He'll get it up to about the 44-yard line before they slam the brakes on it. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. Here's another opportunity, Jesse, to stretch out this lead after punting last time.
I think it goes back to your playmakers, Reese. I think it's finding the guys that have been working for you earlier on in this game and getting them the football.
Yeah, and there's obviously no need to panic. I mean, think about it. You got the lead. You got the football. You got to be smart with the football. Make your plays. Put a good drive together here.
Well, good call by the defense there. They dialed up blitz into that running play, and the linebacker able to make the stop.
Here's a quick throw out to the left. He's brought down solid. Pick up but a little bit short of the first down.
Now, I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows. He can run slants. He can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down. The Wolverines have it with a 1st and 10. Toss to the outside. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. And fires complete to the right. And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short game there.
And that's kind of a lot of today's running game, right? Spit the ball out quick, get it to your playmakers in space, get positive yards. It's instead of running the ball a couple yards up the middle, now you just spit it out wide, and a lot of times if you break a few tackles, it could be even bigger.
Fast motion from the offense. Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. Ripping through the defense. And he'll be taken down, but he does have enough for the first down.
Yeah, and way to be creative. Way to get the ball in the perimeter really quickly. Get some speed outside. All you got to do is secure that edge, and you're just trying to get that first down. Nice job. Nice play call by the offense.
And the Wolverines are on the move. on the option. Staying physical in the red zone as he's pulled down after picking up 3 balls at the 14. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Wants to throw on second down. Setting up the screen. Didn't have much room to run and not a whole lot of help. Short gain there and still plenty of ground to cover for the first down.
And those screen plays, you really want to sell it, get it to your running back, and get him to the second level. Get him running full head of steam on a safety, on a linebacker. He almost got going, but just got tackled before he could really do any damage.
On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Can't make the grab as he was going for 6 right there. They'll try to get something out of this drive and kick the field goal here on 4th down. It is good. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
A bit of an under-the-radar game this week, guys, but take a look at this. North Texas has some work to do. There's no other way to put it. But the mantra of this program is hard hats, hard work. And if they can chip away here, they may be able to pull this out. They're trailing by 13 to Charlotte. We'll circle back if anything big happens you need to know about.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. On the move from inside his 5. And the returner will be brought down. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. Their drive chart is starting to look a little monotonous. Punt, 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 David.
And their defense is starting to get a little frustrated, too. They just keep putting me back on the field, possession after possession. Jesse, this offense needs to get their heads out of their you-know-whats.
The punter's on the sideline with the oxygen mask right now. He's been playing so much. He's not used to this. This offense, they just got to stay on the field. They've got to put a drive together and get some balance going, running and throwing the ball.
Power football with the run. Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 27-yard line.
I never know if it's grammatically correct to say a team is being out-physicaled. You hear it a lot in football, though. That's happening in this game. They are just not getting the push they need all game long up front to have any success when they decide to run it.
He wants to pass it on second down. Outside the pocket, lets it go. He got his hands on it, but couldn't hold on to it, and what a time that would have been for their first pick of the game.
Oh, and on defense, you just got to be able to finish that play. That defender had the football in his hands. He's just got to catch it. That should have been an interception.
On third and long, try to convert through the air. And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17.
Nothing too exotic about that blitz right there. That's just the middle linebacker coming right up the middle of the field in the teeth of that offensive lineman. Nobody accounted for him, and he gets home.
And the Spartans will line up to punt it away. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. He gets a block. Little pressure on the coverage team there, and they'll stop him at the 47-yard line. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. They had to settle for the chip shot field goal last time, Jesse. They'd love for this one to pay off bigger.
Yeah, it just comes down to execution, too. Did a nice job out in the field, stalled a little bit once they got down to the goal line, so they just need to be a little bit more crisp here, David.
Yeah, and listen, I think the first part was the most important part. You got to put the drive together first to get down there. Now, when we get down there, focus on execution and getting 6 points.
Brought down to the ground, but he has enough for the first down.
Man, this guy is so dynamic, and that's why you want to try to get him the ball as many ways as you can. That time, it's a screen throw, and he had some nice blocks downfield, but with his speed and elusive running ability, this dude is dangerous.
And a pickup of 8 opens a world of opportunities on 2nd and 2. After the good pickup on 1st down, let's see if they keep it on the ground. Off play action. And the quick shuffle pass.
Well, tip your hat to the defense getting that incompletion because that hasn't happened often for this guy. Completed over 70% of his throws last week. He's doing it again in this game. Can the defense continue to mix things up? See if they can maybe confuse this QB.
On the option. Lowers that shoulder, delivers the blow. And he put his foot in the ground and turned it upfield and turned it into a big play. Great decision to keep it. The Wolverines are moving quickly down the field. They'll try to get it in with the run. Pushes ahead for 2 to the 7-yard line. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Here comes the option. He'll toss it. And he's loose and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Michigan. The Wolverines have a nice little cushion in that Paul Bunyan Trophy almost within their grasp.
Sparty can't quit, though. This game means too much. In the rivalry, in the conference play, in recruiting, Sparty now has to dig deep, and they've got to fight back. Just takes one play, David.
Yeah, and these guys are a bunch of underdog guys, right? These guys are the ones that are talked about in this rivalry as inferior to Michigan all the time. You got a chance to keep fighting, showing what's inside your chest.
The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Good job by the coverage unit to put a stop to that return. The Spartans have it back on offense, hoping to play some good ball. This is when the pressure can ramp up a little bit on an offense, David, when they start feeling the heat to answer a score.
And I think being down 14, you can kind of feel that way. But, dude, if you put a good drive together, this is a 7-point game. So, Palmer, no need to panic.
I was just going to say, David, I mean, this thing can flip quick. You go down, score, all of a sudden your defense gets a stop, or who knows, better yet, gets a turnover. This game is entirely different.
It's really frustrating when you get a guy in his spot. He's in the hole. He's there to do his job. And you can't get the guy on the ground. That's your job. Get him on the ground. You know, especially a guy that's not a huge back. You got to make that tackle. You can't make it easy on the offense when now they got a manageable situation.
Finds a man on the right. They get him on the ground after he gets enough to move the sticks. We've reached the end of the period, and Michigan has the lead. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. They'll start the drive here with 1st down to open this period. He's looking to throw it. Quickly complete. And he broke one tackle on the way to a solid pickup there.
Well, and here's the problem offensively. Because you're trailing by so much so late in the game, the defense now is going to be playing big zone coverages, and they're going to allow you to throw the ball underneath in the middle of the field, rally to make a tackle, and bleed the clock. It's going to be hard now for this offense to claw their way back in this one.
There he goes to the right. He's at the 10. And he takes it all the way. They couldn't stop him. Touchdown, Sparty. Well, how about that? And after that touchdown, we might have a finish after all, Jesse.
I love it, Reese, and this team is not quitting. Yeah, they're down on the scoreboard right now, but they are clawing and they are scratching their way back in this game. They're going to keep going hard until this clock reads all 0.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. And they've got a little bit of a cushion here, David. If they can add to it on this drive, it would be nice.
And it definitely makes a little bit of a difference. Knowing I'm up by more than a field goal, obviously, Jesse, my mindset switches, and I know I can't make mistakes.
Yeah, and David, I don't think they have to reinvent the wheel on offense here. What they've been calling has been working. Just get back to doing what you're good at.
And I think the biggest thing for this young man is we've seen him be so great all throughout the season. How do you finish? And how do you finish decides if you win that big trophy at the end of the year. He's in the Heisman running late in the season. I bet you he'll get a lot of touches today.
Just a bit of a misfire there as they can't make the connection.
In football, you hear the term quick, but don't hurry. And you could tell when you run these RPOs, the QBs want to make that decision quick. And I think he hurried it a little bit too much. Got the ball out quick, but obviously was inaccurate in his pass.
Looking for space, it's Stewart. They can rely on this guy to pick up solid yardage when they need it, and he's out to the 43.
Well, you got to give this offense a ton of credit because normally they've got the lead because of this running back. Today, it's actually despite him. They really haven't gotten the production out of him that they expect week in, week out. You got to give the defense credit for that. But other guys on offense have been able to step up enough to make the plays necessary to give them the lead.
He steps out of bounds, but he's got a first down on the play.
I think Jesse and Reese could call offensive plays for any team if they're having this much success on the ground. It starts with the ground game, right? Like, you can chew up these kind of plays, then I can play action later on and take shots. But right now, defense has first got to stop the run game that's been chewing them up.
And the Wolverines look to keep this drive humming. Little touch pass to the receiver. They'll rip off 8 on that play. It's 2nd and 2.
Man, the defense, you hold your breath. When this receiver has the football out in space, you have got to make sure you're playing with outstanding pursuit. Nice job there, but as this game goes on, they've got to keep an eye on this guy and make sure they know where he is at all times.
He'll keep it himself. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Anytime you play this offense, the challenge is stopping this quarterback from running the ball. And you've already seen in this game, he's been able to break off a few runs and do some nice things. That time, though, the defense had his number and tackled him for a loss.
Looking to pick up a first down on 3rd and short from the 43. They'll go to the ground. He just never got started going forward. A huge loss of 8 on the play. The Wolverines will bring the punt team onto the field. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. Michigan State has the ball back, and here comes the offense. They come to the line for the first play of the drive, snapping it from the 21. He wants to start this drive with a pass. Can't make the grab. Quarterback just missed him a little bit.
I think when you go through these progressions as a quarterback, you want to find the right guy to throw to, obviously. I didn't think he was the right guy. I didn't think he was really that open. And listen, he sailed and he overthrew it, but I might have surveyed the middle of the field a little bit better there.
The give to the back. Keeps it moving for a 3-yard gain to the 24. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Unloads it left. It's caught downfield. Nothing but green ahead. And they pick up a better than 30 yards on that completion before the defense brings him down.
I just continue to be impressed watching this guy play. Good decision-making, very accurate. He's obviously got a lot of talent surrounding him, so no surprise with that last completion. He's now over 3,000 yards on the year.
Squeezes out a couple of yards down to the 32. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground. Take away that run game. Make them one.
And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Michigan State.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, he hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive, Jesse. They had to punt it.
I think they got to be more physical, David. I think up front they got to do a better job getting blocks and establishing this running game.
And how easy does football become if you're the more physical team? If you can threaten the run and then run play action, it opens up the whole offense at your disposal.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. He's looking to throw. A little screen to the running back. And he's almost to that first down marker there, saying he's a little bit short. They might want to bring out the sticks and measure, but it looks as if he'll be just short of the first down. Here they come, trying to convert a 3rd and short from the 28. They'll try to run for it. And the Wolverines pick up the first down.
Well, they came into this game today knowing that this guy was going to have to leave his mark in this one, toting the rock, and he's done that. He's come up with some big plays, and he continues to do that here late at a juncture where they've got to continue running it if they're going to win.
The Wolverines with the 1st and 10. They're going to ride this running back. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Well, the linebacker's showing you read and react. He knew exactly where that running play was going, and he beat the football to the line of scrimmage and forced the TFL.
They'll run the option. He'll toss it. He stopped after getting a yard out to the 30. Now this offense facing a 3rd and long from their own 30. From the gun, wants to pass. He's got his man. He's run out of bounds, but not before. Turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a first down. And the Wolverines have their offense in high gear. They'll run the option. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
They're trying to run the football, and there's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
On 2nd down, looking to throw. Quick strike complete. And he'll be brought down.
The defense has their hands full trying to stop this guy in the slot. They're going to have to figure something out to bracket him, try and get 2 bodies around him, maybe get some safety help as well, because right now they do not have the answer for this guy.
The clock stops. 2 minutes left to play in this one. They need to get a little closer for a field goal try, and they've got to do it in a hurry. On 3rd and short, trying to impose their will and move the chains. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page.
That back had absolutely nowhere to run the football. Actually, is he counting? I think he's counting to make sure there's only 11 guys on defense.
Tie game here late in the 4th. They want to control the ball, and they're not going to punt it away. They'll go for it on 4th down. We've got a timeout on the field, and we are set up for a terrific finish. A tie game here late, and they do not want to give up this football. They'll go for it on 4th down. on the option. Now the pitch. And they'll ride him down, but not before he picks up the first down. And how about the timing on that pitch?
You know, you kind of get stuck in no man's land once you get across that 50-yard line where it might be a long field goal, which isn't really high percentage. Or do I go for it on fourth down? I like to go for it, personally. I like the aggressiveness. They go for it, and they get the big first down.
He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a first down.
And these touch passes, it's so hard because there's always action off of it, right? If I fake this pass and I can run it up the gut or I can throw it and they just spread me out and make me defend so many things. And you could tell they got on the edge quickly, got the big first down.
The defense uses their second timeout of the half as they try to get their act together.
You know, the defense doesn't have an answer for this slot guy right now. They may want to think about bracketing him, having a defender play to the outside and to the inside. Probably some sort of zone coverage where you're trying to get two bodies, forcing the quarterback to have to go somewhere else with the ball.
On the run, it's Stewart. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. They're close enough for a makeable field goal from the 26, but they'd love to convert this third and long. Pulls and fired complete. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down.
Yeah, they got to move fast, and obviously you're going for this on fourth down, and you got to think about how many chunk plays I can get, move the sticks, get down the field. I got to get a score, Jesse, in this critical moment.
So start thinking about who are your best players and who needs to touch the football right now. Those are the plays that you need to be dialing up this situation of the game.
The offense will use a timeout. Clock is stopped with 22 seconds left. And now on fourth down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. Not a chance. Missed it. And in the final quarter of regulation, we remain tied. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They'll try the run. One-step wrap, two-step squeeze. This junior knows how to get him on the ground. Now on second down. Well, guys, let's play some more. Headed to overtime.
And this just feels right. Both of these teams going back and forth. So, of course, David, this thing needs to get decided in OT.
Let's see who's better. Short amount of time to do it. A couple possessions probably, maybe one possession each. Who's the better team?
They've got it first and 10 from the 25. Looking to move it through the air. He'll take a shot. Just led him a little too far across the sidelines. Couldn't make the catch in bounds. It's incomplete.
You know, it's a good decision by the QB because his intended target wasn't open, so throw it out of bounds, and you can live to play another day here on this drive.
Trying play action. Trying to get to him. And the rush will get to him at the 25.
Oftentimes with play action, you're asking the quarterback to hold on to the ball a bit longer, and you're asking this offensive line to hold up and pass pro a bit longer. Against this athletic front seven on defense, it's going to be tough.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. To the ground with the back. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. They'll try to put 3 on the board and take the lead in overtime. Never a doubt. And after the field goal, guys, they are back on top.
And 3 more on the board, and this kicker is starting to get a reputation starting off the season. Hasn't missed yet. Nice to have a guy that you can really, really depend on.
Down by a field goal and a touchdown will win it. Let's see what they've got on first down. Going up top on first down. They've got the screen set up. Not able to break the big one on that screen to the running back, but he found enough and a solid pickup on first down. The Wolverines look to do some damage in the red zone. Now the play fake. Moving away from pressure. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down. He'll ride his man on the option. Now the toss. And he finds some solid space, makes a nice gain before the defense is able to stop it.
Running the ball in OT, and a nice job by the ball carrier, finding his lane, finding his hole, putting his foot in the ground, and getting upfield.
They're going to run it. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And you know exactly what time it is when you get down here in the red zone. You got to be able to run the football, but when you got a back like this who punches the ball in the end zone consistently almost every single game, you are going to feed that animal the rock.
They believe in their running game on 3rd and goal here. He got it in. A walk-off touchdown in overtime.
Wow, this offense, they have a lot of faith in this running back, knowing if they get down into this area of the field, he can get it done and he can answer the bell. 2 rushing touchdowns already for this offense.
I know how to sum up this game succinctly. That was fun, and what a victory to remember.
Fun for them, fun for us, just the back and forth. Games that are so nip and tuck, and you know every play matters so much. These are